Let's transition back to the Monday night matchup between the Jets and the Bills. Obviously, the Jets beat the Bills 22-16, and in that game, Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. He's out for the season, and the Jets' defense was sensational in this game. But what probably got overlooked because of Aaron Rodgers' season-ending injury is how pathetic, and I do mean pathetic, Josh Allen's performance was in this game. Josh Allen, in this game, he goes 29 of 41, 236 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, fumbled the ball twice, but they lost only one of those 2 fumbles. But he still fumbled twice in this game. This was Josh Allen. And so the question for me after watching Josh Allen's performance in the Monday night matchup is, can Josh Allen be trusted to get the Buffalo Bills to the Super Bowl? Because when you look at Josh Allen, he signed his current contract in August of 2021. It was a 6-year, $258 million deal at the time. And since that moment of him signing his contract, Josh Allen, in 34 regular season games, has 41 turnovers. 41 turnovers. And he has 90 turnovers in his career since he's entered the NFL. That's the most by any player in that span since he came into the NFL. I know that Josh Allen is one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. Arguably top 5, depending on who you ask. And when you look at his numbers from a statistical standpoint, 139 touchdown passes, 63 interceptions, 18,633 passing yards, completing 63% of his passes. But ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that Josh Allen has regressed. And because of Josh Allen's regression, the Buffalo Bills football team overall has regressed. Let's go back to 2020. In 2020, the Buffalo Bills made the conference championship. Now, they lost to Mahomes and the Chiefs. In that game, they lost. It looks like they lost 30. I can't find the exact score, but they lost 38-24. 38-24 in the conference championship game in 2020. In 2021, they got to the divisional round playoff game against Mahomes again. They lost in that game 42-36. But in that matchup, Josh Allen played great. He went throw for throw with Patrick Mahomes, and that game ended up going to overtime. Remember, that was the game where Patrick Mahomes, in like 13 seconds, got the Chiefs in field goal range. It was a sensational performance from Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes that evening in Kansas City. So after the 2021 playoffs, because of Josh Allen's performance and going throw for throw with Patrick Mahomes in the divisional round matchup, most people said that Josh Allen was the second best quarterback in the NFL behind Mahomes. That's what most people were saying. Now remember, in that same season, the Bengals got to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow. And so I said going into the season last year that I felt like Joe Burrow was better than Josh Allen was. But when you looked at people in their quarterback rankings last year going into the season, this is going into 2022, most people had Josh Allen ranked above Joe Burrow. And then I even heard that the Buffalo Bills were a better football team than the Bengals were, despite the Bengals making the Super Bowl and beating Patrick Mahomes along the way in the AFC Championship to get there. So we go to last year. And last year, Josh Allen was a turnover machine last year. Last year, Josh Allen had 14 interceptions, and he had 7 turnovers in the red zone last year. 7 turnovers. That's what kills you as a football team when you turn the ball over in the red zone. And he's had 84 turnovers since he's been drafted. When I said 90 earlier, that was including the playoffs. And so I believe that Josh Allen has regressed, and he hasn't been the same since Brian Daboll, the head coach currently of the New York Giants. Since Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen hasn't been the same. He hasn't been the same. And I was looking at something on Monday night. This was after the game. This was on Pro Football Talk. This is Mike Florio and them. He says, credit to Zach Wilson and company for holding it together under significant adversity. They could have given up. They kept going. Also, the Buffalo offense still doesn't have enough help for Josh Allen. What? I screenshotted that when I saw it on Twitter because I'm thinking, what the hell is Mike Florio talking about? And I love Mike Florio and Chris Sims on Pro Football Talk. They know a lot of football, and they do a great job with their podcast. But to say that this Buffalo Bills organization has not given Josh Allen the necessary weapons to be effective is false. Now, can they improve their running game and give him a reliable running back to depend on in that offense? Absolutely. I said that the Buffalo Bills should have called up Jim Irsay and the Indianapolis Colts and tried to land Jonathan Taylor in Buffalo. Could you imagine Josh Allen and Jonathan Taylor together in Buffalo with Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis? So, yes, they can improve that running back room, but other than that, Josh Allen has a number 1 receiver in Stephon Diggs. He has a solid number 2 receiver in Gabriel Davis. There are no more excuses for Josh Allen. And if we go hold Dak Prescott accountable for all the interceptions that he throws, we have to also hold Josh Allen accountable for the interceptions and the fumbles that he also has from a production standpoint. This was the Bills' second half possessions against the Jets on Monday Night Football. Interception, punt, interception, fumble, field goal to tie the game, 3 and out. So the reason why the Buffalo Bills are not viewed the same way as the Cincinnati Bengals, as the Kansas City Chiefs, as even the Baltimore Ravens is because Josh Allen has regressed. He's regressed. And the one thing I will say is if he doesn't get it done this year, it's a possibility that Stephon Diggs will be requesting a trade out of Buffalo. Stephen A. on First Take a couple weeks ago said that Stephon Diggs won't out of Buffalo. And I know Stephen A. is not making that up. He ain't just going on air saying things that aren't true. Someone told Stephen A. and that Buffalo Bills organization that Stephon Diggs secretly wants out. So if they continue to lose games the way they lost this Monday night game against the Jets, a game in which the Jets lost their starting quarterback in Aaron Rodgers and had to turn to Zach Wilson, I can see the Buffalo Bills missing the playoffs and Stephon Diggs requesting to be traded by season's end. I already had the Bills out of the playoffs, but immediately once Aaron Rodgers went down and was injured, I thought to myself, okay, a playoff spot has now opened. A playoff spot is now open because the Jets aren't making the playoffs. And Josh Allen goes out and puts on that kind of performance. 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles. It was a pathetic performance from Josh Allen. He has to be better because he is one of the more talented quarterbacks in the NFL. But it's clear that Joe Burrow has passed him when it comes to your rankings amongst quarterbacks in the NFL. It's Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson as well, and then everyone else for me. Josh Allen is in that conversation with Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, and those guys. That's my thoughts on Josh Allen.